Do you think that we need to bottom out in equities before the correlation ends? Or do you think it basically starts to look like gold, which should be uncorrelated, or at least is should be inversely correlated, if anything, in these times? I mean, or is there some other factor that would cause this correlation to end?
I think we should simply ignore the correlation argument. It's a facade. It's a canard and a facade. It takes our eye off the ball. The real issue in your decision as to whether to invest in crypto and which crypto, because as we know, that's a huge environment in the tiny little word of crypto. Bitcoin and Ethereum are the dominant players. We can just focus there. For you to decide whether to invest in this area, you need to examine the fundamentals, just like you would for investing in any industrial sector or in a specific stock or any piece of real estate that you might choose to invest in. What do I believe is the long-term outlook for this asset class or this specific investment opportunity? And when we examine that, we begin to realize that blockchain and digital assets are still very new, very early, very young, still emerging, developing, growing. And this is the ideal time to engage. And eventually the institutional investors will understand that. Let's remember that institutional investors are never early to the party. They always show up late and they always wreck things, as they've demonstrated with Bitcoin. They didn't get involved in Bitcoin until the last year or so, at the time when Bitcoin was at or near its high. And that's why they engaged, because they finally said to themselves, we can't keep missing this party. They realized that they missed the first 10 years out of denial and arrogance, and they stopped sitting on the sidelines, and they got invested just in time for the global economic environment to implode, forcing them to sell their equities, and they're scarfing up their Bitcoin in that same notion. So don't turn to the institutions as your barometer for whether it's safe to get back in the water. Ignore them. They're going to come along when they finally realize they did it wrong in the first place. They're reevaluating it wrong again, and they're going to finally figure it out later. Don't wait on them. Don't pay attention to them, because they're not the measurement by which you need to make judgments.